Page 303. This is a reading exercise, and you can bet we're going to be using a blues scale. It's going to be in a blues style. So we'll see if we can maybe play it in a blues style. However, first I just go through the routine. I look it over. It's 3 lines long. Treble, bass, clef, no sharps or flats in the key signature. You'd think it's in C major. I'll go ahead and just do the scale for C major and A minor and the arpeggios too, just so I got something to do. Okay. But it's going to be in a blues scale, I'm sure. I just don't have videos on blues scales. And 4/4 time signature, let's take it one hand at a time. The right hand, I like this fingering. You have a sort of a chromatic passage going, because you get that in a blues scale. But I like this fingering. We're not crossing over the thumb. We're not moving around. It's all right there. Then we come up here. We're using the notes in a blues scale. Now here, measure 5. Now you say, wait a minute, is that still, how did that work? Because I'm on the same position, I use different notes. Well, in measure 3, you're still in the C blues scale. You're using those notes. But in measure 5, now we're in the F blues scale. Yeah? We're back to C. Why? Well, because C is the 1 chord in C major, and F is the 4 chord, and then the G is the 5 chord, and those basically the chords used in blues, the 1, 4, and the 5, although they're using a blues scale. So that's the chord progression. We got a 1 chord going to a 4 chord, back to a 1 chord, and we do that in a measure 9, where it's a G chord, 5 chord, 4 chord, 1 chord. We're just following a blues progression. It's probably following the 12-bar blues progression too. Remember the 12-bar blues? You get 4 bars of 1 chord. That's what the first 4 are. Then you get 2 bars of 4 chord, 2 bars of 1 chord. Then you get a 5, 4, and 1. However, you can keep repeating this, and if you're going to keep repeating it, it helps in the last measure rather than doing a 1 chord. You do a 5, 7 chord because that leads into 1, and when you repeat, that's 1. However, you do it one time, you just end on a 1 chord. I don't know if that made any sense at all, but it's basically a 12-bar blues progression. So in the left hand, we're here. Now, when I do this kind of pattern, I don't want to use thumb on all those. So I'm going to use second finger on the low one, and thumb is reserved for the high one. So I'm starting with 5-2, not 5-1. Measure 5, again, 5-2, I'm saving the thumb for the D. Now on measure 9 and 10, you can go ahead and use 5-1 there. But anytime I got that pattern, I'm using 2 here. Put them together, it's here. Now, get your right hand up here because the left hand's holding up. Get up here, ready to go, and that way when you're playing, you're ready to go. Now, the right hand's here. Now you got to get the left hand up. There's no rest or anything. Just move up. And then back down. And whatever the notes are. In the left hand on measures 9 and 10, I generally don't use a 5-1 on all those. I just typically don't. I would probably do a 3-1 and then a 4-1 and then a 5-2. I'm not moving very much that way, rather than it's moving quite a bit. Finger it however you choose to finger it, or however your teacher chooses you to finger it. But that's how I'm going to do a 1-3, 3-1, 4-1, 5-2. That's how I'm going to do it. So I get that out. No hesitations. As far as articulation goes, you're just connecting it. This, however you play, just play it. You want to play them staccatos and experiment with it a little bit, fine, but it's not marked. It's up to you how you choose to interpret it. Dynamic is going to go to the right hand here, moderately loud. This chorus needs to be in the background. Speed andante moderato means moderate andante, I suppose. A moderate walking pace. Don't be in a hurry, but you're kind of walking somewhere and you know where you're going. 1, 2, 1, 2. It has to be the feel of the piece. Now, if we interpret this more in a blues style and play it that way, we'll probably slow it down a little bit. Because in blues, well, it's blues, swing, and jazz, those three genres of music, are generally done typically the same way, interpreted. And that is, we swing the eighth notes. It doesn't tell you to. It won't tell you to. You just do it. If they want them straight or even, that needs to be a note in the music play evenly. Now, there are always exceptions to this, and people will argue with it. You go right ahead and argue. I don't care. Not interested. A friend of mine who is a professional, the trumpet player that plays jazz, he's the one that taught me, and he pointed me to a book, and I can't find it right now. I read it. It's written by a trombone player, jazz trombone player, explaining how you can interpret jazz music, blues music. And you just swing the eighth notes. Just long, short, bum, bum, bum. There's no notation for it. It's felt. It's not a dotted rhythm. It's not a triplet rhythm. It's just felt. So it's that. Retard onto at the end, slow down a little bit. You put in the seventh chord. There, if you want to. In blues, generally, you'd be playing seventh chords probably throughout. So you wouldn't play C, you play it. But this little thing, they're not doing that, and that's fine. Okay. Let's play this together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I am going to swing the eighth notes, but we're going to take it real slow. I'll give us 4 counts, 4 quarter note counts to come in. 1 and 2 and ready and go and.